Yo, what's going on YouTube, man? It's your boy Adi, man. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, make sure you're gonna like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications on to all that you never miss a single upload in the near future, man. Today we're gonna react to They Gave Argentina Up for Dead and This Happened. Now, if y'all have any type of recommendations, man, when it come down to like many little documentaries, or if you go back in time and look at Argentina when the World Cup happened in 2022, man, please, please, please. I'm gonna put that down in the comment section down below, and any type of recommendation that you would love to see on this channel. Hoping everybody having a good day or a great night if you're watching this from. Again, if you're new to the channel, and even if you're existing to the channel, man, y'all already know how to get down. But if you're new, man, let's go and stick in and see if you like the vibes, man. Let's go ahead and watch the video with your boy. Without further ado, man, let's go in and see They Gave Argentina Up for Dead and Then This Happened, man. Let's see what's going on, man.
Won the World Cup. I repeat,
Argentina has won the World Cup.
The moment it happened, I knew immediately that I had to go back and tell you the real story, the complete story.
And before we even get into this video right here, bro, if y'all have any type of like stories that y'all can tell me what happened when it come down to the World Cup from your own experience in the comment section, please do so. I ain't gonna lie to you. It don't matter if you're watching from home. It don't matter if you went to the World Cup. And honestly, have you ever went to a World Cup? Bro, let me know. And which one was it? You know what I'm saying? And tell me the experience, bro.
How it happened. But how far do I have to go? When did the story truly start? Was it in 2019 when Scaloni took over as coach and revolutionized the team? Maybe 2016 when Messi retired from international football? Or 2014 when they went all the way to the final only for the dream to die right as it began to seem real? Or much, much earlier? Say 2005 when a 5-year-old Julian Alvarez sat at home watching Lionel Messi in tears only 1 minute after putting on the Albiceleste shirt for the very first time. Or perhaps it started in 1992, the year when a shy little Messi who never left his grandma's side sneaked out to a dirt pitch near his house, being spotted by a coach who would take him to his very first match that same afternoon.
Wow.
Or maybe
imagine you seeing a kid. Imagine you being a coach, you see a kid. All right, nah, hold on, nah, we gotta check him out. I ain't gonna lie, we gotta get him into a game the same day that I just met him. We gotta get into a game. Now that's fire. I ain't gonna lie to you. Messi been a talent. Okay.
In that same city, that same year, just a few miles down the road, when a mom pulled her son away from an incoming car, saving his life. That boy's name was Angel Di Maria.
Angel Di Maria.
What I'm trying to show you, and what I always have tried to do in this channel, is give you some perspective. Life is made up of a billion little events, which down the line have infinitely larger consequences.
Wait a minute! Oh my!
Even further back.
There's no way that's people right there, right? If that's people right there, I have never seen this footage. That might actually be people right there. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That's after the 2022 World Cup. Bro, this is another reason why I gotta start back reacting to Once in a Lifetime, bro. The series, bro. I got like 2 more episodes to go. I'm on 3. Bro, oh my gosh, bro. If you was here, or if you seen this, like, what was even going through y'all mind, bro? Like, imagine you being right here. Oh my gosh, bro. Hey, man, let's keep it pushing, bro.
Not shown an entire
that is crazy.
That the world was there to be conquered. Who knows how different this past week could have been. But regardless, in order not to bore you too much, I think the perfect place to start telling this story is in the same place where it ended. The World Cup final. So the year was 2014.
2014, okay.
And Enzo Fernandez were both still in middle school. Di Maria was out injured, and the only player out of this year's squad
was Messi.
At that final was Lionel Messi himself, who is the captain now and was already the captain back then. The match started well, Argentina getting a few good chances.
Was that Neuer?
Scoring from an offside position, but everyone missed. Even Messi, and it was only after nearly 2 hours of game time that Götze scored the only goal. It was a goal that tormented every Argentinian for 8 years, and that wasn't even rock bottom. 1 year later, after a goalless draw against Chile, Argentina lost the penalty shootout and came out defeated in the Copa America final. But as they say, bad things come in threes. So after 1 more year, Argentina were once again defeated in the
My fault, bro. I had to grab me a little juicy little, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all ever had these right here. I know it's all topic, but bro, these shits is fire. All right, let's go.
By Chile on penalties, with Messi coming out of the pitch in tears, completely heartbroken, and then shocking the world by announcing his retirement from the national team, which thankfully was then followed by a huge uproar in the streets of Argentina.
You know, I was literally finna say that, bro, and that Once in a Lifetime, that the thing is that's so beautiful about that series is that they show, like, the streets they showed like everybody was begging, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Begging for Messi to start back playing on Argentina. I mean Argentina, my fault. On Argentina, bro. And it was crazy, bro. They had like kids crying and everything, bro. They had like kids crying. If I'm Messi, bro, I'm coming back, bro.
With
For
the
the
people
kids, bro.
begging him to come back, promising him things would eventually get better, which 67 days later resulted in Messi coming back to the team. However, it wasn't until 2018 that things would turn around. Scaloni's rise had been the stuff of dreams. Another boy from Rosario, he had enjoyed the life of a young star, even winning the Under-20 World Cup with Argentina. But then, despite even winning La Liga with Deportivo, he mostly never got called up for Argentina. With the exception of the 2006 World Cup, where he was called up in detriment of the great Javier Zanetti to the surprise of many fans, after helping West Ham to an FA Cup final during a 6-month loan spell. However, following his retirement, he took over a role as Sampaoli's second coach at Sevilla and eventually followed him to the national team, being picked as interim coach after the dismissal of Sampaoli following the 2018 World Cup. The federation considered Pochettino, Simeone, and Gallardo, but having spent all their money paying severance to Sampaoli, they could not afford any of them, so instead, they gave Scaloni a shot. At first, it didn't go too well. A loss to Venezuela in a friendly set the tone, and then in the Copa America, despite playing Qatar, Paraguay, and Colombia in the group stage, Argentina came out of it with only one win. And as it began to seem hopeless, Argentina began to show some promise. Their style of play seemed more organized and direct, their transitions were faster, and even as they got knocked out by rivals Brazil, it was easy to see the bright side of it all, which led the federation to offer Scaloni a definitive contract. And it paid off tremendously. Against all odds, Argentina went on a run of
36 matches, god damn.
36 matches without a loss across 3 years, shocking the entire world and above all, getting revenge from Brazil, beating them in the final to win the Copa America in 2021 after 28 years without a trophy, and 6 to the squad of long-forgotten talents
Unless he do
that
the
have been
copyright.
scattered around Europe, from Emi Martinez to Romero and De Paul, as well as the introduction.
De Paul is Argentinian? Man, it's a lot. Hey, I did not know De Paul was Argentinian. I did not know that. Yo, that's
Some younger
crazy.
talents from the Olympic teams like McAllister and Julian Alvarez. Suddenly, it seemed Scaloni had created a monster, and rightfully, it was nicknamed La Scaloneta. But their biggest test was yet to come, the 2022 World Cup, and 1 month ago, it finally arrived. The opening match was Argentina versus Saudi Arabia. On paper, it couldn't get much easier. It was the type of game where you could have bet your house on Argentina winning. In fact, the betting houses claimed it was 5 times more likely for Argentina to win the entire World Cup than for Saudi Arabia to win just that one match. So when 9 minutes in, Messi scored through a penalty, most people thought it was better for Saudi Arabia to just bow down and give it all up. But they didn't. Instead, they held on for 40 more minutes and then pulled off the equalizer. Just getting that one goal would already have been enough material for an entire chapter in the history of Saudi Arabian football. And still 5 minutes later, Al-Dossari danced in between a bunch of defenders, pulled the ball back and smashed the top corner with
That was a nasty goal.
making for one of the best goals of the tournament.
That was a nasty
With
one.
the attack having now done its job, it was in the hands of the defense to make sure the result would be maintained, and somehow they pulled off the impossible and won the match. It seemed Argentina were set up for another huge disappointment, but if they learned something from the Saudis, it was that anything was possible, that you should never stop believing in yourself,
That's a fact.
and that they could beat anyone.
That's a
and
fact.
that's where the journey really started.
And you know, that's what I love about sports, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, the thing is about being an underdog, or that's just anything in life, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, the thing is about being an underdog, bro. If you believe in yourself, knowing you the underdog, bro, you can possibly do anything in this goddamn world, bro, if you really believe it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes down to sports, like, an underdog team can beat one of the best teams. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. We see it all the time. Maybe not in football, but I see it all the time in other sports. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know too much about football, but I've seen it happen before. You know what I mean?
The mission was simple. Argentina had to win both of the matches they had left in order to finish on top of their group, and the first team to beat was Mexico, which would not be easy. On goal, Guillermo Ochoa, a titan, a World Cup legend who on a good day could make it nearly impossible to score, and in front of him, 11 players with one single goal to make sure Ochoa would not even have to put his powers to use. It was rough, foul after foul, and by the end of the match, Messi himself had been fouled 5 different times, which was literally a tournament record.
5
And to be
different
fair
times,
to the
fucking crazy.
Mexicans, for about an hour, it worked. Argentina seemed completely toothless, and the world started to believe that against all odds, one of the greatest footballing nations in the world would be out of the tournament after just 2 matches. But then, Messi was allowed about a second on the ball, 25 yards away from goal.
No, look how many people that is out there though. Oh
Suddenly,
my
Ochoa was
gosh.
floating through the air, arms out wide,
That's crazy.
stretching as hard as he could, and the ball was in the back of the net. The game had been unlocked. From there on out, as Mexico tried to get a goal back, getting more and more
Hey, Paul.
desperate, breaches opened in their defense, and in 9 minutes of the match, Enzo Fernandez
Wow.
sealed the win.
Good
with a
ass
goal
hustle.
even more beautiful than the first. Now between them and the top of the group stood only Poland. One minor slip up and they could finish second.
Is that where my boy Lewandowski play, man?
So
Oh,
30
Szczesny
minutes
too.
into the match, when Szczesny saved Messi's penalty,
Szczesny.
after having already denied Argentina over and over again, the flashbacks began coming true. Could it happen again? Could this tournament be just another stain on Messi's legacy, another memory he hopes to forget? But again, why forget? The toughest moments are there to be conquered, so the players
fact.
took on the pitch once more and never stopped trying. As much as Szczesny had so far been a wall, all great walls eventually fall, and that time around, it was no different. Just 21 minutes into the second half,
Lewandowski.
Argentina were already up 2-0. With
2-0.
2 bits of magic, first a combination between Di Maria, Molina, and McAllister, and then Enzo Fernandez and Julian Alvarez.
Good ass
By the end of
hustle.
the match, the prophecy had been completed. Argentina had risen from its ashes, were first in their group, and were through to the knockout stage. Thanks to their spot at the top of the table, their first opponent would be on the easier side. In fact, Australia had never beaten a South American team. But something else the match against Saudi Arabia had taught them is that is no such thing as an easy match, and Australia, they proved that 100% right. Half an hour went by and nothing had come of the match. The physicality of the Australians had proved time and time again to be hard to break through and completely nullified the match. But mind beats muscle every single time.
That's a
So,
fact.
with a stroke of genius, on his 1000th game, with only the second
Nah,
shot of the
1000
match,
is
Messi
crazy.
nudged the ball in between every defender onto the far post, opening
That was a beautiful ass no look pass. Y'all see that?
match. Messi nudged the ball in between every defender onto the far post, opening the score sheet. Still, Argentina knew one goal could be easily overturned, and when they could not find themselves the path towards the net, the football gods blessed them with a mistake by goalkeeper Matthew Ryan, which the ball completely exploited, gifting Julian Alvarez with an open goal. A goal that came at the right time, as just 20 minutes later, a shot by Craig Goodwin deflected off of Enzo Fernandez and ended up in the back of the net, making the final 13 minutes more tense than ever imagined, with Lautaro missing chance after chance, but nothing compared to what would happen with just 30 seconds left on the clock, as Garand Kowal found himself completely free at the back post and only failed to
Beautiful
equalize as
save!
Amy Martinez pulled off the first of many iconic saves throughout the tournament. 2-1 was the final result, but once more this match served as a warning that Argentina were not as omnipotent as they once seemed, which only made it more worrying that their next opponent would be the Netherlands, who had not lost a single match ever since Louis van Gaal had taken over as manager. Once again, for the first 30 minutes, all we got was an intense midfield battle with barely any attempts on goal. The game was completely tied down. It seemed impossible that anyone could break free, and as always, that was exactly when Messi once again saw a breach in the defense, and with a great finish, Molina
What a pass.
put Argentina in front 1-0.
With a
If
pass,
there
one
was any doubt
assist.
that this play had been a complete anomaly in the flow of the match, then it was confirmed with 40 more minutes of midfield carnage, only stopped as Dumfries committed the biggest of sins, giving away an unnecessary penalty, fouling Acuna near the goal line and allowing Argentina to go in front 2-0. But you know what they say, 2-0 is the most dangerous scoreline, and soon the theory was proven right. 5 minutes later, Weghorst came in, and 5 minutes after that, he scored through an incredible header, sending the heart rates of every Argentinian through the roof.
Beautiful header.
They were once again
That was a beautiful
on the
header right there.
tightrope, and after a seemingly never-ending balancing act, we arrived at the very last play of the match. A free kick for the Netherlands. Koop Miners was the one to take it. As everyone already imagined the worst, the ball going right into the top corner, Koopmeiners pulled off the unthinkable, carefully placing a pass through the gap beside the wall, finding Weghorst, who would score his second, becoming the first Dutch player in history to score a World Cup brace after coming on as a sub. In extra time, Noppert saved one shot after the other, now seemingly unbeatable, and in the very last minute, Enzo Fernandez hit the post. It seemed Argentina had now been caught up in the middle of a Dutch fairy tale. Suddenly, the football gods were no longer on their side. The team's mood was down, they were tired, and they were beat up from such a rough match, one of the toughest ever, with 17 cards being shown, literally an all-time record.
Damn!
All of that, Emi Martinez was bouncing around on the goal line, ready to face what came next. And it was that ability to keep his head cool that allowed him to save that first time.
What a block that was.
Any other goalkeeper would crumble under the weight of their own self-pity, but not Emi Martinez. In fact, he would save the second one as well. Like him or hate
what a
him,
block,
he's
bro.
a mentality.
that boy did.
And had completely swayed the game in Argentina's favor, despite a huge miss by Enzo Fernandez would eventually go on to win the shootout. Maybe we should have known from the beginning. In fact, no team had ever won as many World Cup penalty shootouts as Argentina, and only Spain had lost more.
Oh my gosh. Look how many people that is, bro.
The Netherlands. They were now only 2 matches away from glory. The next team in their way was Croatia, the vice champions. With a midfield of Kovacic, Brozovic, and the hero of the last World Cup, Luka Modric, there was reason to fear them. And even if somehow you got past that midfield, there were Gvardiol and Livakovic waiting for you, maybe the most informed defensive duo in the whole tournament. And you didn't have to look too far to find out how hard this match could be. Just 4 years earlier, in the previous World Cup, Argentina had faced Croatia and come out of it with a 3-0 defeat. But we all know how easily the tables can turn in football, and we also knew one other thing. Argentina had never been eliminated from the semi-finals of the World Cup, and this time around, they would not allow it to be any different.
Wow.
As it had become usual by then, 30 minutes went by without either team managing to create a clear goal-scoring chance, and out of nowhere, Enzo Fernandez sent the perfect long ball into the reach of Julian Alvarez, who got it just in time to dink it over the goalkeeper. But after that,
saved!
A defender managed to clear it right as it was about to go on goal, and above all, Livakovic slammed into Alvarez at full speed, meaning that as the Croatians let out a sigh of relief, the referee pointed to the penalty spot. Messi smacked it in with as much power as he could gather, and Argentina were in
1-0.
Regardless, Croatia had conceded first in all of their 6 previous knockout matches.
Bro, I'm not describing it, but like, even though I know who won the 2022 World Cup without seeing like actual footage, that's why, bro, that's another thing. I gotta go actually see the World Cup, like, actually. I can't wait for 2026, but even the 2022 one, I can at least watch it. You know what I mean? But bro, I'm feeling like some type of like anticipation, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm feeling some type of like anticipation while I'm watching this, like anxiety, like nervousness, you know what I'm saying? For some reason, like imagining being a player and imagining being like a fan inside of the arena, bro. Like, that would have been crazy.
Still managed to turn the games around every single time, except for the final in 2018. So every Argentinian player knew they had to get back at them immediately, and that's exactly what Julian Alvarez did. Before the Croatians could even prepare for another round, he was rushing towards their goal all the way from his own half of the pitch, so determined, so focused on goal, that he literally fell inside it right after smacking the ball in as well. It was one of the most brilliant moments in the entire tournament, and he still wasn't done. After an incredible miss by Kramaric, now well into the second half, Messi made the mark.
Oh yeah, that boy Messi going. That boy Messi going.
Evading Gvardiol time and time again before supplying Julian with another chance, which of course is scored. Only 22 years old, he had completely dominated the match and sealed Argentina's spot in the final. 4 World Cup goals at 22 was something no other Argentinian had ever achieved. In fact, the whole team had ruled the game with an iron fist, only allowing Croatia to get a shot on target on 2 different occasions. Only once had the team dominated another this much in a World Cup semi-final. Argentina, 8 years earlier, versus the Netherlands, right before losing out in the final. So, Was this in any way an indicator of what was to come? After all, the final hurdle in their quest for glory would be France, the holders of the title, the world champions themselves, who had already taken down both England and even the tournament's dark horses Morocco, a team with players like Griezmann, Dembele, and above all,
Mbappe.
Mbappe.
Wait, I did not know Dembele played. Wait, he's a Frenchman? What in the hell? Hey.
With despite his more understated performances
Hey,
in the matches that
I did not know
preceded
that.
the final, was a strong contender for the title of player of the tournament with 4 goals and
3 assists
in just 5 starts.
and 5. That's literally a goal every single game.
There was reason to be frightened. After
Then the
all,
assists
France
almost
had not
every single
lost a
game,
World
too.
Cup match against a South American team since 1978, and with this
Damn.
final now added to the tally, only Germany had reached more World Cup finals than Argentina. And with just 2 wins across those first 5 appearances, once again the odds weren't exactly stacked in their favor. Still, taking into account that the encounter between these 2 teams 4 years earlier...
How old was Mbappe playing in the 2022 World Cup? I ain't gonna lie to you. In the 2008, let me see. How old was he in the 2018?
Had been a 7-goal
I don't know how
blockbuster.
old he is now.
Everyone expected this match to be overflowing with emotion, but then the French seemed completely off their game. By the halftime break, they had not even attempted a single shot, nor a single one of their players had a single touch inside Argentina's box. From an outside perspective, it seemed only one team was truly determined to win. Nothing is a better testament to the low quality of their first half, as much as the fact that 2 out of their 3 forwards had been subbed off before halftime. Dembele specifically had probably the worst World Cup final performance of all time. 0 shots taken, 0 successful crosses, dribbles, or even a single goal.
Zero
managing to
all
commit a
around.
penalty, all in just 41 minutes. It was no wonder Argentina were already 2-0 up by then. A penalty by Messi and an incredible combination between the man himself, Alvarez, McAllister, and finally, of course, Di Maria, who seems to be more powerful the bigger the match
Beautiful.
is.
Beautiful
But
pass,
regardless
beautiful
of how
assist,
happy
man.
The Argentinians were to be in front 2-0 already. This would have been no way to end such an incredible tournament.
Bro, it's like the anticipation coming back, bro. It's like I'm feeling something in my gut. Pause. It's like I'm feeling something in my gut though. It's like I know who won, but it's like the anticipation while watching, like I don't know, like it's just like I guess it's like nervousness. I guess I don't know what it is, bro, but
No
I don't
one
know.
dreams of being the winner
don't know.
of the worst World Cup final of all time. And it was around the 70-minute mark that the match was completely turned inside out. Camavinga and Coman were subbed in, and suddenly all of it seemed like a whole different story. France, now seemingly revived, went at Argentina over and over again, and just 7 minutes later comes a penalty for France, and Mbappe, the great threat to the Argentinian dream who so far seemed to have been dormant, rose up to the moment, scored the penalty, and came back
What a
just
fucking goal that
97
was.
seconds later and pulled off the acrobatic volley of his dreams to level the match.
Wow.
For the neutral fans, this was a miracle. The match had gone from sleep-inducing to now being a thriller.
Beautiful
like very
passing,
few in
too.
history. But for
Header
the
pass,
Argentinians,
boom.
that thrill
Pass!
felt more like absolute horror.
That was nasty.
The match that seemed to have been completely in their grasp was now going into extra time. The first half of that went by without even a single shot on target. Both teams seemed frozen with fear. The only way to go in front was to risk conceding, and that's not a risk many are capable of stomaching in what is quite simply the greatest match on the planet. And so rightfully, that was when the 2 greatest players on the pitch had to take command of the scoreline. With Messi scoring off of a rebound first,
Wow.
and then the Argentinian boogeyman himself, Kylian Mbappe, threw another penalty with just 4
But then he was
minutes
on a
left
hat
on the clock,
trick.
becoming only the 2nd player in history to score a hat-trick in a World
Wow,
Cup.
that's fire.
If extra time had been scary, the penalty
damn
shootout
robot.
was terrifying. And when Mbappe opened the shootout by beating Emi Martinez from the penalty spot for the 3rd time in the match, not only did he cement his performance as one of the greatest in history, but sent chills down everyone's spine. Could it be that as much of a penalty specialist as Martinez was, this would simply not be his day? Once more, any other goalkeeper would have been off his game immediately. The pressure, the odds, the literal fear. But not him. One more dance on the goal line and he had saved Coman's penalty. Argentina,
Beautiful
now one in
save.
front, the
Beautiful
game was
save.
alive already, and then it was more vivid than ever as Chouameni missed the goal completely. 2 more penalties went by and
That boy
suddenly
dancing
it all
again.
rested on the shoulders of Montiel, who took a deep breath, 6 steps, and St. Loris the other way.
Peace!
In a
That's
night like
game!
no other, the clock had struck midnight and a forgettable final was turned into a beautiful celebration of the greatest sport in the world, one of the greatest matches of all time, and Argentina were champions of the world once again. 36 years later, the second biggest gap between 2 World Cup wins in history, and man, it had been worth the wait. If you don't trust me, then ask Messi, who played 1,000 matches
1,000 matches
more
is
World
crazy.
Cup games than anyone in history.
That is crazy.
Every one of those sacrifices, all complete.
That is, oh, I must be due to copyright or something like that. Well, listen, bro. Listen, if you enjoyed this video, bro, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, bro. Set the post notifications on to all that you never miss a single upload in the near future. And if you have any more recommendations like this, it could be anything. They got something to do with football, bro. Please let me know, and I will get to it in due time, bro. I thank y'all so much for the support. We on the road to 3.6K already. Thank you. And listen, I'm out of here, and I will see y'all soon, man.